Hello, Plastodon, Jerry, Uncle Leo, Mr. Taylor, on the place. Jesse, hello. I just started listening to My Alien Brain. It's got a lot of good riffing in there. Keep forgetting to listen to it throughout the week. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm about to stream. I need to listen to it. I like how you're using the bass as an actual instrument, and it's not just playing the root notes of everything. Actually, a bass line that stands out. I like that. I think the bass is a highly underutilized instrument in metal. Welcome. Okay, last week's live stream turned into an edit. Boy, it's doing a lot better than I expected. Yeah, most people agree that what Bernth is talking about is ridiculous. He's kind of, I think as one person said, lost the plot, or another person said, jumped the shark. Where he used to put out really good content, but now it's just sales, sales, sales. And as I've said before, I'm all for trying to make money off of doing this thing, but I want to do so in what I consider an ethical way and actually earn people's support and not just try and, fool them into giving me their money, basically. Okay, let's see. I got the guitar turned up there. Come on, Pinch, come through. Is it time for new strings? Drop D and I forgot about it. Bernth put out a new video about TikTok lessons that people teach on. Oh boy. Let's use the old tuner here. It's nice to see that most people are agreeing with what was discussed. I have learned that somebody, most likely somebody on Bernth's team, is deleting any kind of negative or critical comments on his stuff now. And if you are subscribed to his Patreon, you get about one email a day with many sales that won't last for a long time. So, yeah, a lot of people have said that they liked his old stuff, but the new stuff is not so good. Okay, let's see. I can leave that guy there. Let me just double check this one next. All right. 1, 2, 3. Turn that all the way up. Make adjustments as we go. And okay. So 2 videos planned for today. The first one popped up in the feed. Especially after last week, I got to do this one. And then the other one is a request. So we're going to be checking out one from the guy who says that you're not a musician if you don't tap your foot, although I'm pretty sure he was just trying to be funny for the most part. And then the other one, I've actually been asked about this a couple times. Anton Oparin, however you pronounce his name, his video, his 2-hour video, Does Universal Guitar Technique Exist? We won't be watching the whole thing today. We're going to just start it and then maybe finish it next week, or however many weeks it takes to finish it. But we're going to go through the whole thing because somebody did request I watch that one yesterday or 2 days ago. I don't remember. But I know other people have talked about him before, so, and asked me to check it out. So there we go. Shade, hello. Breath reaction are good because you have exceptional rep. Thank you. No, I certainly will be doing more. Well, I mean, especially if, requests, whatnot. Well, we'll see what happens. I got so many things to edit and put out. I need my own team. But anyway, okay, let's see. We're about ready here. So yeah, the first video, we're getting started. So let me get rid of the getting set up. All right, this is it. We're gonna do it. So first video we're going to watch is by Guitar Mastery, and we have watched one of his videos before, a couple weeks ago, talking about the importance of tapping your foot, but he did so in a very goofy way, I think. I think it was done on purpose, so. But look at the thumbnail. Look at this thumbnail. Does that remind you of anything? This came out today. New method, no slanting, no angling, no escape motion, and it looks like he's picking near the bridge. Perhaps this is another Bernth-inspired video. So when I saw this thumbnail in my feed, like, yeah, we gotta watch this one. So here we go. But first, I forgot to bring this up. Gotta do the thing. Nope. Wrong one. Oh. There we go. And this is extra important now because another person's reaction to the bird thing. But hey, everyone. Did you know that these live reaction videos are never done with the intent to tear anyone down, even Bernth? Even though I'm sure many people still think I'm being a jerk. Much like the guy in the comment section from the Bernth video. In these types of videos, we see if we agree, disagree, and what I can add to the conversation to further help people get better at guitar. Is this coattail riding and clout chasing? Absolutely. If doing this helps me reach more people and grow the channel, damn it, I'm going to do it. Okay. Let's get to this. So, new speed picking breakthrough method. And with a title like that, I'm already bracing myself. But let's see. Maybe he's just trying to be funny. Let's find out.
Go to my website right now and sign up for my breakthrough program, which will show you the most effective, most important exercises that you can do in legato, in alternate picking, sweep picking, and economy picking. Exercises that will get you there in the fastest way possible. It's free. I have an insight for you that can change your struggle when it comes to developing fast picking. It doesn't involve slanting, angling, or anything like that, or string avoiding when you go from string to string. All that is off the table because what I use here is pendulum picking. And pendulum picking is simply, if you imagine a clock, an old-fashioned clock, you have the pendulum down there. And the reason why we use that in an old clock is because we need some weight and we need some distance. And that can swing with a much greater deal of evenness than anything that's short and light, right? So that swinging makes the clock more accurate. The same thing goes for pendulum picking. If you take your pick like that and you do this with your hand, just without the pick, just hold the thumb and index finger like that, and then you do this. See, this is a natural movement, right? Your hand kind of, there's some weight to it, right? Same thing we do when we strum very rapidly, right? We move the hand like that in flamenco or flamenco with a pick anyway, right? And so that's the evenness of the picking motion. And what I do when I pick very slowly, or when I do alternate picking, is I dig into the string, right? Because I want to influence the note. So I dig, sometimes I'm digging into it, I'm really going, I'm using a lot of my pick. So if you saw me pick, you would see the pick, travel below the strings. When it goes faster and faster, the picking motion becomes much simpler. It goes from being like picking every note to kind of going like this. Okay, now we need to simplify the motion, and then gradually you will get to a point where it's not alternate picking anymore. You can say it's up and down, so it's alternate directions, but what really happens is that I'm not picking the string anymore. Please get me. This is not fantasy. I'm not picking the string anymore. I do this, and then the string gets in the way because I'm picking.
I don't know what to say to that. I'm not picking the string anymore. I'm going like this, and the string gets in the way. Let me read the comments here, then get back to the video. Operin is amazing. I've seen his video a handful of times. Oh. I haven't watched any of it yet. I've seen some of his playing. Like all the shows whenever I can make it, like, well, glad you like. Well, yeah, it's always nice to have you on, Mr. Viking. See a whole bunch of snake oil on YouTube right now. Yes, it's like P90X for guitar. I think P90X actually worked though, as long as you actually did it. But then again, I don't know. I haven't looked too much into it, but that's what Troy calls string hopping. Yeah, I know what you mean. The pendulum picking, the string hopping, right? Okay, so let's continue. All right, so he just said that he gets going faster. He no longer picks the strings. The strings just get in the way. I don't know what to say to that. Let's just continue.
Picking in the surface of the string. And this is absolutely impossible if you're used to alternate picking, because the brain relies on that resistance from the string back and forth. I don't actually rely on that. I rely on the message that I get from the little punch it feels like a little punch like this on the pick. So it goes from this to this. You can almost hear the pick just bouncing at the top of the string, and it really is the top of the string. I'm not even going so deep as the string itself. I'm just grazing the top of the string, which requires me to have an insane amount of accuracy, of course, because you can't vary your picking depth like that, because then the string doesn't get in the way in the same way every time. Then if you dive down just 1/10 of a millimeter into the string, suddenly the resistance you feel is twice that of before. So even picking, depends of course on having some weight in your hand here. You can't orchestrate every picking motion. It must be like this, right? Like this. This is the picking motion. And then the string gets in the way. Notice how, I'm just going to turn off the guitar. Notice how this is exactly the same movement as here. Still picking. Right.
Yeah, well, as soon as you start doing that Gilbert lick, you start slanting. Anybody else notice that? He's slanting as soon as he does that. So, oh man. It just feels like another person who's, just trying to say something in another way to act like, oh, this is a brand new thing. This is nothing new. And he's talking about the whole pendulum picking. So going from... Nope, I never turned off the tuner. What does he say? Something like... basically like scooping your hand this way and that way. And then as he goes faster, he's no longer picking the string. The string's just in the way of him doing this sort of thing. But I swear at one point it seems like he's doing more of this kind of motion. And then right there with the whole... or wherever he played it, he absolutely slanted his pick. Watch his hand. He does. He slants the pick. I'm going to slow this way down. Way down. 0.25. Really watch the right hand here. See if you can notice it. He's gonna slant the old pick. I'll try and zoom in on it. All right, give me a moment, please. All right, let's see if you can catch it. He will slant the pick when he's playing the Gilbert lick. Crap. He zooms it in for me. It may not look so good because it's slowed down so much, but it's the best we got. Best we can work with. Yeah. So if you notice, it's when he's going from the D string to the G string. So yeah, he is slanting the pick. He's going like this. I'm sorry, where is he starting on the G string or the D string? All right, he's doing a downstroke on the G string. Can you see my hand slant a little bit? When I'll slant the pick a little bit. You notice that little change in how my thumb and the pick is looking? So when I'm going from the D string to the G string, and this is what he's doing, whether he realizes it or not, he's turning the form a little bit to clear, get away from the D string so he's not stuck in between the strings to go to the G string. So he's doing that. He's not just doing the same motion the whole time. He is absolutely slanting his pick. Everybody slants their pick to some degree, whether they think they do it or not. I used to think I was just going, just down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And that's how I would visualize playing things. Just trying to think of it just like a down, up, straight line. That's it. But I'm not. I'm going kind of like down and out like that, and then up and in. And I'm doing the really fast stuff like this. So I am slanting the pick. I'm not just going down and up like this. I'm going down and out, up and in. And then, like when I was doing the little Gilbert lick like he was doing, yeah, I will do a little bit of two-way slanting. It's a thing that happens whether you realize it or not. So him saying it's just pendulum picking at first, and then you're just doing the same motion the whole time. When you get going faster and it's no longer picking the string just gets in the way. Well, he just proved right there through his motions that he is doing two-way pick slanting, and that pick slanting is part of the process, whether you like it or not, whether you think you're doing it or not. You are. Everybody does. So yeah, and for those who don't know, I only learned about my slanting because Troy Grady filmed how I picked, did the whole close-up thing using his magnet, the little thing that holds the phone here, and he slowed it way down and showed me like, well, when you're playing this, your hand is doing this. When you're playing these things, your pick does this and all that. And it was very insightful. I had no idea I was doing all that stuff. So it's like, but that's one reason I tell people, you don't have to know about pick slanting. You're going to do it whether you know about it or not. But some people do benefit from learning about it and implementing it, actually making a conscious effort to do so. But yeah, this is, man. I'm going to read the comments here, and then we'll continue on with the video. Oh, boy. Teacher, my strings are getting in the way. What do I do? Shade Viking, I just think of the pick as an extension of my hand, and I'm pretty much a heavy picker, so I slam them because I only play rhythm mostly. We've seen them all before, styles of picking. Yeah, I don't see anything special about him. Yngwie once said he just picks and never really paid attention to how he does it on the Rick Beato show. Yeah, like he just naturally developed it, you know? That's how a lot of players do it. They just play and play and play and just continue to replicate things that worked well and sounded good to them, and there you go. I've been working on speed for the first time. Made a ton of progress trying to push speed with the metronome method. Hell yeah. It is a grind. It's like going to the gym. It's training. It's a workout. Hell yeah. Your picking looks horrible. Oh, I'm sorry. I've been aware of pick slanting helped me get out of string hopping. That's good, but the speed doesn't come for free. That's true. Yeah. And that's one thing Troy has talked about, or something Troy talks about, is finding what picking motion works well for you and then trying to build a library of licks based around your picking motion so you can capitalize on it like that. And anyway, let's get back to pendulum picking. I got to reset how the video looks, though. Hold on. Back to regular playback speed.
Right? That's how it, and then you can say, okay, what about string shifting, Klaus? Because that's some of the hardest thing I had to do, right? And when you're not digging into the string all the time using alternate picking, there's no reason to try to escape the pick to get to the other side of it once you do a string shift like that. Because just imagine. Right?
Although you did, man, you did. We just saw it. You absolutely did a little slant of the pick to escape the strings. You did.
I talked about this quite a lot of times, but just imagine you're striking this string, right? And you're digging in, which means that if you have to strike the next string from below, then you have to avoid it first and then strike it from below. And you know this problem, right? If you've been into alternate picking. But when you're using pendulum picking, and I'm picking in the mere surface I'm avoiding the next string quite nicely because this becomes my picking motion, right? It's circular, pendulum, right? So, and I'm picking in the surface. So I'm just naturally avoiding it. So all I have to do is to take my picking motion from this string and then move my hand down here at the right moment, of course, right? And then I'm avoiding the string. I don't have to do any slanting. I don't have to do any angling. I don't have...
But you do slant the pick. We just saw you slant the pick. Clearly you're not aware of it, and that's okay, but you are slanting the pick.
Have to do any avoidance, which is also impossible at that speed, right?
No, it is not impossible because you just did it and I did it and a lot of people do it.
So it has to be simple when it's fast, right? So I'm just grazing the string here, and then I'm just going to the next string, and it's avoidance because it's out here and then it's in there again because it naturally swings out like that. And you cannot figure this out by doing close-up slow motion of anyone's picking, because every single top player out there, myself included, developed all kinds of weird little habits in order to make the impossible possible. So what we should be working on when we try to develop our speed picking skills is accuracy and precision, and not all kinds of strategies meant to compensate for the fact that the mere picking movement is too deep, because we're still using alternate picking and not speed picking as I...
Down, up is alternate picking. You can call it pendulum picking, you can call it circular picking, you can call it whatever the heck kind of picking you want. It's alternate picking. This very much reminds me of fitness industry nonsense where people will like come up with these weird, crazy things to try and reinvent the wheel. So this way they can sound, well, more relevant and get views and sell whatever they're trying to sell and whatnot. Stuff's basic. And it's okay to tell the basic things in your way. It's all right. There's a big guitar world out there. There's tons of people. New players are going to come on the scene all the time. Everyone's, got a little different personality and how they teach. Like, I'm not going to be the best teacher for everybody. But apparently I'm good enough for some because I'm able to make a living doing it. But, we don't need to just act like this. Come on, man. Tempted to edit this one down and put it out as a video too, but I don't know how entertaining it's going to be and informative. But that's I mean, I'll at least make some clips out of it. And for some people, doing the slow motion thing, and this is like an unnamed attack on Troy Grady, I feel. Now, I have been, maybe not as open about it, but, you could say I've been critical on some things I've heard Troy say, but he and I had a discussion about my concerns, we'll call it that, because I had concerns about, working on that extreme metal course that he and I did. And at the end of the day, he and I are basically trying to help people in a very similar way, or like get people to the same thing. We just have different approaches, different ways of presenting things. Different people work better with other people. So I don't know, it just seems, I mean, if you're going to say something critical about him, I mean, I don't know, but be fair about it. For a lot of people, just seeing how the close-ups of it, it may not work, but for some people it will. I mean, if it didn't work, why do people report on his forum that it worked for him? For them. On his forum. Bleh. This video is almost done.
I call it. So we get slanting, all of these things. And if you're angry right now, because how dare I, using alternate picking and not speed picking as I call it. So we get slanting, all of these things. And if you're angry right now, because how dare I attack, somebody who teaches slanting or avoiding the next string or whatever. But how are we going to get anywhere if I can't say that? Because I used to use those methods as well. And I used to struggle with alternate picking all the time, even though I used those methods. And I've been playing for 46 years. So you can go all cloud. I can see you angling, and I hear that a lot, right? I get these angry messages. But what are you angry at? A better method? Right? Or it's like we absorb whatever we do into our identity, and then it becomes.
Did we all just hear what he said? We all just heard people tell him that he is slanting his pick and all that stuff. He's like, well, what are you angry about? A new method? You what new method? There is no new method. You're just giving it another name. Boo. Boo, boo, boo. Fuck. This is not a new method. You can call it pendulum picking all you want. It's alternate picking. You're going down and you're going up. You slant your pick, whether you want to say you're slanting your pick or not. You are. We just saw it, so I don't whatever. Jesus Christ.
Becomes a personal thing, right? Whether or not you're doing the most efficient thing. So, I hope this is valuable for you.
It's not.
If it is, then stay tuned for the next video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon and go download the free course on alternate picking, for that matter. GuitarMastery.net, front page. Put on your email, not going to spam you. You can always, unsubscribe if you want to. It's a pretty super course. So go do that, and then I hope to see you in the next video.
Oh, boy. Yeah, Wow. Wow. And if you ask, oh, what are you angry about right now? Because you are trying to rename something that is quite basic and act like you have some brand new discovery in order to sell stuff. And I know you're promoting a free thing. Fantastic. But I promote free things too. What does that lead to? Hopefully actual money later on. I'm not going to deny that. Of course, that's part of why it is. That's how shit works, man. I agree, because I'm no pro, and I'm pretty sure I've pendulum picked without even noticing, because alternate picking pretty much is the same exact motion. Yeah. It was a stupid video for him to put out. Yeah. He even stole that G from Bad Giant. I don't know what that is. I'd take your word for it, though. Well, goddamn. Is that a band, or... Oh, from the Band Giant. Oh, I thought you said bad. I'm sorry, I read that wrong. I read B-A-D. The Band Giant. Got it. Well, maybe he's a fan. I mean, shit. Look at this. Where did I get those letters from? So, yeah, this person right here, a comment says, let me just move this over here. I'd love to see you and Troy Grady discuss this. I think he is open-minded and would approach this with curiosity. Troy is an open-minded guy. I do wonder if you are actually pick slanting, just don't realize it. He is. I'd like to see one of those close-up videos of your picking articulation so we have a really solid view of your mechanics. I hate pick slanting exercises. LOL. But I do want to get my picking speed and abilities vastly improved from where they've plateaued for a long time. Thank you for this. This guy, a new term for tremolo picking. What a time to be alive, uh-huh. This guy, come on, for fuck's sake. Marketing BS. Still alternate picking, though. Also, when you explain string changes, you are rotating the forearm. Forearm rotation equals pick slanting. Exactly. So, fuck, dude. Pupy, hello. Are you... were you on Kick? I think somebody on Kick had that name. It's Limp Pendulum. Oh, God. Shred something? Boy. It's always weird getting put on the spot, you know? Haven't played today. I gotta kind of get warmed on up. People ask, what do you do for warm up? This is what I do. Yeah, I need to do more warming up. I'm rusty right now. Okay, well, there we go. That's that. Now for the big video. Now the big one coming up. So let's close that one out. And I don't know, I feel like showing the... I wish this video or the image was bigger. Here, I got an idea. Let me sure. I can zoom in like this. Come, if this will let me. Damn. So, all right. Well, the next video we're going to take a look at. Where did it go? It's called "Does Universal Guitar Technique Exist?" by Anton Oparin. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right. And he, every time I hear about this guy, it's always positive, like how he's such a great player. The thumbnail for this, good old goofy Photoshop. I have no idea, like how I can't. Are you serious? As it says, like I'm pretty sure it's just a little being silly. We'll find out. Now, I also have the assumption that this guy's a pretty decent guy because this guy, Justin I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing the name wrong. Justin Hombach, he did a reaction video of his own, and then Anton reacted to that. And then they both got on like Skype or a Zoom call and had a discussion about it all. So I would imagine he seems like a pretty decent guy, or it seems like he's a decent guy. So let's find out what this is all about. But first, as always, these live reaction videos are never done with the intent to tear anyone down, even though I'm sure many people still think I'm being a jerk. Perhaps like Bernth and Klaus. Or maybe not. I don't know. In these types of videos, we see if we agree, disagree, what I can add to the conversation to further help people get better at guitar. Is this coattail riding? Yes. Is this clout chasing? Absolutely. But if doing this helps me reach more people and grow the channel, damn it, I'm going to do it. Okay, so let's just check the comments first and then get to the video. Should start a band called Pendulum. Very good. Great video to lose subscribers, huh? Show just started, so yeah, I gotta get that pendulum warmed up and swinging. Very good. Joe still warm up, walking through scales. That's just a fine way of doing it. Nothing wrong with that at all. Hell yeah, hell yeah. Warm up at 280 minutes, sometimes a little bit. Just tiny, tiny bursts. Oprah is that kid shredder from the mid-2000s on LimeWire. I don't know him. I don't think I've never really heard much about him. I don't know how I missed it. But I believe you. Why wouldn't I believe you? Yeah, I'd hear his accuracy. I hear his accuracy is crazy good. But okay, here we go. Let's get it started. Guess I'll read it. This video was created, 1, to protect my students, or to protect his students and subscribers from ill-intentioned teachers who say technique does not matter. Very curious where he's going to go with that, because I'm curious who is out there saying technique does not matter. Now, my view on technique is very much like gym-related stuff. Not everyone has the same squat stance. Not everybody has the same bench press setup, things like that. Like shoulder type stuff, like pressing and like lateral raises. Like, you know, I gotta keep changing how I angle how I'm lifting things to make sure I'm not getting injured. So, like, technique, I feel, is a very personal thing. So, yeah, because like limb length, finger length, you know, how your joints and all that stuff are built can change things a little bit from person to person. Technique definitely matters. So who the heck is saying it doesn't matter? Well, he might give us some examples. Let's continue here. And then number 2, to expose the tactics of these teachers who say technique doesn't matter, so you can easily recognize them. All right, good. 3, to help inexperienced musicians gain an understanding of basic electric guitar technique. Good. And to help his subscribers fulfill their dreams of becoming great players with incredible quality technique. All right. So I had my disclaimer, and he had his intro. Here we go.
Hello everyone, how are you? It's been a long time since I've posted any videos, but I think we should cheer up and start the ride. I hope you're ready, because it's gonna be a long and very entertaining ride with some things that you'll never ever find anywhere else on Guitar YouTube. Let's go. Last years on YouTube, on forums, you might notice discussions and videos and etc. about how guitar coaches lie to people who want to learn to play professionally and tell them some weird stuff. And by the way, I would notice that not only it happens in guitar playing, it happens in many areas in our lives.
Yes.
And these people give advices to their subscribers and students on pretty serious topics that need pretty big investigation and knowledge, or at least personal experience, that majority of guitarists unfortunately just don't have at all. Well, why I decided to record this video? Simply because maybe majority of guitar teaching materials are based on ideas and guesses of guitarists who somehow learned to play something, learning by shooting in the dark, and with that lack of knowledge then to start earning money, they start manipulating their students, explaining them that to achieve what they need, they can play how they feel comfortable, or that they should play only like their teachers want them to. Just work more, you'll be fine, dude. Next one.
Let's see. I want to rehear that, and then we'll have a comment on it.
Feel comfortable in them that to achieve what they need, they can play how they feel comfortable, or that they should play only like their teachers want them to.
So I think he said, I know he clearly has an accent, and sometimes I have a hard time understanding some accent stuff, so apologize if I get anything wrong here. So it sounded like he said some teachers will just tell their student to play however they feel comfortable. I guess I need more context on that one, because I do want the student not to feel not in any pain when they play and things like that. But then he said, and then there's teachers who want the students to only play exactly how they play. I think that's what he was saying. So like, I don't know, like technique wise or something. I guess we'll get into more detail there. But yeah, like just like for me, I use my ring finger for the whole step stuff, right? Use my middle finger, like right there, it doesn't feel nice right here. So I gotta use my ring finger for the most part. Now I got a diminished chord doing it like that, then it feels okay to use my middle finger. But for some reason, the scale stuff, it doesn't feel very good. And I have a wrist injury. Well, I don't know if you can call it an injury anymore, but at least I had one. And I got to make sure it doesn't come back. So just because I use the ring finger, and I used to tell students to always use the ring finger for that stuff. But I have since learned that is not the right thing to do. Some people need to use their middle finger instead. So yeah. Let's see. Read the comments and then get back to the video. Disclaimers are honest, and that says a lot. Thank you. This generation is lucky to have so much videos and knowledge easily available on Google. Yeah, tons of information. It's easy for people to get lost in it too. In the old days, the only way was to get lessons, sit down with a teacher. I did that. First guitar lessons, Mike Fate. Like my first teacher was my dad, but then going to a music store, I think his name was Mike, and then he stole my dad's money because he took his payment and then quit. No, that was a weird one. The real name, friends paid $15 each and go to the package liquor store and got smoke weed and drink pretty much. Fantastic. Meant comfortable with the wrong technique. Okay, I see. Tension playing. Okay. The first experience taking guitar lessons, basically partying while watching Fate shred and once in a while learn stuff. Jesus. I've heard about how some teachers will do that. They're basically just taking money to show off to the student. Yep, Joe's got to use the middle finger. All right, let's continue on here.
Just work more, you'll be fine, dude. Next one. But everything I teach is based on pure scientific facts.
Yeah, he said there, oh yeah, just work more, you'll be fine. That's definitely not the case. So I completely agree with him on that one. Because a lot of times people will just continue to work hard, and more and more and more. But if you're doing it the wrong way, and you're working it hard at something that is producing terrible results or making you even worse, well, that hard work isn't going to do anything beneficial for you. It needs to be correct work.
Laws of physics, physiology, and biomechanics, and I did point a finger to the sky to find a way to learn to play something. And an attempts of some bloggers to tell you that technique and physiology for each person works differently is pretty common manipulation. Plus, some things that you might hear on the net might be pretty dangerous for your hands and even time that you will spend on practicing. So that's why this issue is pretty important to talk about. I think you would agree that mostly those who want to learn to play guitar and pay money for it want to get some professional knowledge, right? Nobody wanted to spend hundreds of dollars to hear, dude, come on, play how you feel comfortable, man. It's all about soul, feelings. Just feel it, yeah. Just give me those $50, yeah. Feel it, buddy.
Some people do want that.
4-note lick. Play it for months, years, and decades. You'll be fine, buddy. I believe in you. Hands position, dude. Just play how you feel comfortable. Why? Because it's comfortable, man. I think you understand that what's comfortable for a person already didn't work because he wouldn't go and pay money to take a lesson otherwise. So I guess something's wrong with this idea. All right. Oh, so it's pretty popular on the net when someone can't explain guitar technique, they start saying, dude, come on, technique is not important at all. Nobody cares about it. But In real life, not in the world of luckiness, especially if you didn't get in those very little percent of bands that became popular in 70s or 80s, or maybe you were just lucky to be such a good friend of lead vocalist so that he took you in a band. Mostly for simple people who just want to play in a band, if you look at stats, it's going to be a little different. Mostly you have few roads. First one, find a job in a cover band to earn some money. Find a job in a touring band to earn probably even more, if it's not a small band. Get hired to a pop star for the same goal. 4, become a session guitarist in studios, probably. And 5, start your own band to spend some money. But dude, this is what we all want and try, right? Yeah, I agree. Your own successful band is the hardest thing, and it's a little different and funny. We'll talk about it a little later. Well, in the first 4, mostly they will take not the guy with the most beautiful eyes, but the one who can play better than all other candidates. Never late, looks good, doesn't like jazz, just like all other not perverts, and answer the phone calls even at night would be the best. So if there was a list of 20 people, it's not Olympics. There's no silver medal. Not good enough? Good luck, buddy. We'll call you back. Shortly speaking, go off, you. And mostly, the higher you go, the bigger our demands. That's why stars usually hire best musicians. Mostly, they're all virtuosos. Why? Because even simple songs played by professionals sound much better.
That's
with
true.
all those rhythms and details, and everybody on the top knows that. That's why they hire them. I showed many times how even simple things sound better if you have abilities in reserve. In your own band, if you don't own a huge business to support your ass and pay salaries to those who you want to see in your band, nobody from serious musicians, after listening to your demos, will even answer to you in DMs. They won't even take you serious, buddy. But even this all is still a perfect world. In reality, it's all much more fun. Usually, musicians, for instance, they know what G major is, are searching for musicians who are worse than them for their band. Why? Because they want to rule this band. And God forbid there's some guy who even knows A minor. Desire to be an alpha will outweigh potential benefits from cooperation, and while not getting any smart feedback from the leader who brought them all together, sooner or later you will come to this guy starting giving advices, and they will sooner or later start sounding like demands. And of course, such a huge attack on leader's ego won't last long, and life duration of this band won't be too long too. Mostly it ends pretty soon. So until you really have a huge audience or enough money to say you take the money and shut your fuck.
Yeah, very good. I ruined the timing of the joke. I'm going to speed things up here because we're not talking about guitar technique right now. I feel like this part could definitely be shortened a lot. I'll get to the comments here. Yeah, took better lessons later on. Yes, didn't learn much. It was about 1990. It was in the 90s when I took lessons too. Smoking is bad. Yes, it is. Do I know the Power Rangers intro? Oh boy. No, what the hell is it? I know it's got some kind of thing like that. If I listen to it, I could probably figure it out real quick. Sorry, I don't know it off the top of my head. I guess the melody line that goes in there, right? Material for playing fast on the internet is a crapshoot, yeah. On top of that, it takes long to develop techniques, so then you're practicing and you're not sure if you get anywhere or not. Here's where I sound like a salesy asshole. That's why I do have in development, and a lot of stuff is already done, the speed picking, legato, and scale run speed training programs, because it's set up in a progressive overload type way, and it tells you exactly where to figure out, or how to figure out where to start within the material, how to progress through the material, when to know, or how to know when to move on to the next thing. So this way, and I try and have like a ton of extra steps that most people won't need, just in case somebody actually does need it. So this way it starts off really simple and then just gradually gets more and more and more challenging. And again, it has instruction steps on when to move on, when to try something again, stuff like that. So you can check it out for free for a week. Download as many guitar profiles as you want while you check it out. But yeah, I'll be continuing to add more video demonstration, update the content as things improve, and I got the time and all that stuff. But if you're interested, just let me know. I'll give you the link to, well, I'll just give you the link right now in case you or anyone else is interested. Like, you're sober these days? Well, I'm sober right now. I was skeptical when I saw Grady's material, not gonna lie. Yeah, don't blame you. Crack the Code is a bit more of the do this magic trick to play fast trope. I can see that a little bit, but I think there's some misunderstanding on some things. But yeah, I understand what you mean there. Yeah. Anton was a young prodigy, same as Max Ostro. They were shredding Racer X note for note, landing Vega like at 8 years old. I definitely couldn't do that. Anton plays some crazy classical pieces with alternate picking. Johnny Smith. Greetings from Russia. Hello. Yes, you are in the chat. Hello. Does that guitar have DeMarzio Humbucker's tone zone and air? I'd have to look it up. I don't remember. I never pay attention to those things, really. And no. Anton's course is pricey. It might be worth it. It might be worth it. Okay, let's get back into it here. Yeah, so again, I'm just playing this at 1.5 to get to the actual discussion of showing guitar technique, and I think so right now feels like he's trying to really to convey the importance that good technique will make you better than the average guitar player, which will get you the music jobs and so and such. So, all right, let's continue.
Until this moment, you'll be surprised how much it affects how other musicians are talking to you, how fast they answer your phone calls, and even how late they might be for your rehearsal. Funny? Ridiculous, I know. But those who work with real musicians, they will get the idea of how funny it actually is. It's really rare when it doesn't happen this way, but there are always some exceptions, right? So before you even start thinking, I just want to be a good musician, you will notice how big the influence of your abilities and professionalism is on your life. And the more you can, the better you sleep. Plus, there are lots of music styles where you won't be able to play any song without a certain level of technique, and this might be their dream to play that music. They can't live without that music, and if those coaches tell them, oh, come on, man, forget it, it doesn't matter, nobody cares. This might destroy a lot of things in their lives because they will spend years and years on practicing something, and it will not lead them to what they wanted, which is being able to play music they like. And it will, just crush their dream, and they will stop playing guitar at all.
Well, yeah, if you have a teacher who is not encouraging you to play the music that you want to play, don't use that teacher. That's why I tell people, I specialize in teaching metal. I used to say metal and rock, or rock and metal. I specialize in metal. I mean, rock and roll is what? Just slowed down metal? Metal is what? Sped up rock and roll. Can I teach rock? Of course I can. But metal is my thing. And that's why it says just metal guitar lessons now. No longer rock and metal. It's fucking metal. Bad accents. Yay.
In all these 3-4 years of recording videos for YouTube, I only met a few people who said, dude, you know what, I don't need any quality of my sound, I don't want anything, just show me a few chords, you know, that's all I need, not my thing. In the beginning, almost everybody wants to be Gilbert, Bonamassa, Govan, I mean, in that list, and only then they decide what music they want to play. Everybody wants Lamborghini, right? Nobody wants Prius. And that is absolutely normal thing for everyone, I understand that. Pretty often you can see how people are trying to compare guitar playing to other professions like driving a car, pilots, all that stupid things and jokes that have nothing to do with guitar playing, because in reality building a technique is mostly pure sport, because we develop certain skills, control over intricate movements, also their speed and stamina, which is used mostly in sport.
Yes,
so
true.
Now let's talk a little bit about sport. For decades in professional sport,
All right, slow it down a little bit here. Yeah, 100%. So a lot of sports-based stuff. So as I mentioned earlier, I use gym-type terminology, progressive overload. Start something simple and progressively make it more and more challenging, so this way you continue to grow and improve, and you're not trying to do too much too soon. Like trying to lift too much weight too soon. You have to start with the small weights, and then you hit your rep goal, and then you increase the weight a little bit, and then when you hit your rep goal, you increase the weight, and so on. So yeah, you know, you try and work up your speed with a small little burst of notes, and then you can do that. Well, then you add more notes, and then you work that up, and then you add more notes, and then you work that up, and so on. Yeah, there is a lot of technical stuff that goes on with playing. I completely agree with that. Maybe a lot more than people think. I mean, you may not need the best cardiovascular system to be able to do it, but playing guitar has a lot of, you know, athletic things involved. You gotta, and that's why some people, they just don't have the genetics to pull it off. No pun intended, and hammer it on and pull it off. Where others do have a genetic capability to do it very well. Just like their fine motor skills. They're naturally born with it. Some people really have to try and, you know, work really hard and intelligently to develop it. So yeah, completely agree. Lots of sports stuff involved with these things.
Technique that professional coaches teach their sportsmen wasn't only developed by years of experience, but also by scientists and their researchers. Nowadays, sometimes even tactics in games are being analyzed mathematically, not to mention the movements of the body. For instance, let's take swimmers. You can swim differently, right? Let's just imagine a situation. A student comes to a professional Olympic team coach and says, all right, you know what, buddy? I watch few bloggers on YouTube. Shortly speaking, I want to be a good swimmer. Very fucking good. A champion, you get it? But I feel that this technique is comfortable for me. And here, you will understand one thing. When you're swimming somewhere in Florida, on the beach with girls, you can swim however you want and feel comfortable. But you can swim like that for years and work your ass off swimming like that. Even after 20 years of doing that, you'll still be a turtle. And as soon as you'll decide to become even a little bit faster and better, you will have to start doing things that are scientifically reasonable. And the faster you will want to swim, the more it will look like what in professional sport looks almost like synchronized swimming.
Fair. Yeah, fair point.
Watch Pereira go. So Pereira third from your right, up towards the top of the screen.
But it's when you need to swim like a machine, not like a turtle on Florida's beach. So this is the swimming, how it's comfortable for people, and everyone got their own way. And this is working professionally on results. And you can notice that their height is different, weight is different, physiology, a little different body shape, but it's so amazing how identical all their movements are. It looks like a coder took one swimmer and copy-pasted his data file 10 times. All movements, all turns, relaxation before throwing hands forward, all angles, everything is scientifically calculated like a math. And they are getting the swimmer as close as possible for his physiology to the most efficient technique that is made having all those laws of physics and biomechanics in mind, so that he could get least resistance in water, more powerful arm pulls, and keep an efficient breathing. and etc. But they don't let him swim like he would feel comfortable, thinking that after 20 years of swimming his ass off the comfortable way, laws of physics would change themselves just for him. Yeah, laws of physics ain't got no better job to do than change themselves only for you, my son.
I think I'm starting to understand more about what he means as far as like technique. So, like, I guess it's like something that Troy Grady talks about, right? Like Placid, I mentioned in the comments earlier, the string hopping, right? Whereas, you know, like you try and do this really, really fast, the string hopping thing, you're not going to get very fast. So you do need to figure out how to move in such a way that you're more or less moving like in a straight line. More or less, it's not quite that simple, but I'm just simplifying it. So yeah, that makes sense. Like, you need to be able to go like down and up in a fairly straight line. For some people, it's more like this. Now, I do believe that in order to get the absolute 100% fastest picking humanly possible, you do need to learn how to activate them muscles there. In order to be able to do the whole twitch picking, hyper picking, whatever the heck you want to call it, jiggle picking. Because I couldn't do that the other way. But you know. Yeah, anyway. Get to the comments here. We're never going to get through the video. That's okay. Oh, goodness, I've missed a bunch. Hold on, let me go through the comments and get back to the video. Too many Prodigy guitar players now. Sean Lane is underrated. Is he? I feel like, I mean, maybe he's not as well known. Maybe that's what you mean. 'Cause I know people always say great things about Sean Lane. Very good old school type metal and speed teacher. Thank you. Does he sound like Bugs Bunny? Oh, shit. I maybe. I wouldn't hear it out. George Spiteful, hello. How many you play tremolo and alternate picking? How much do I play tremolo and alternate picking in a day? Oh, dude, I have no idea. No idea. I mean, the days that I teach, maybe a bit more. I really don't know. I don't know how to give an answer to that one. Probably not as much as people would think. I don't do it not a ton. Your last joke, very good. Nowadays, you have to explain the specific category of metal or subcategory. Yeah. Well. For some people, yeah. There's a ridiculous amount of genres. It's just silly. Get his over explanation, but his points could be made while getting the show started. Yeah. Michelangelo Badia will hand deliver the keys to the Lamborghini when you crack 160 beat. Yeah, focus on rhythm and slow acoustic type stuff, or finger picking of slow solos, bends I knew long ago. Never been a fast soloist. Yeah, if you're happy and you're, well, you know, having fun with that, that's what really matters. Yeah, well, let's continue the prattling. Let's get to some playing. Play, damn it, play.
In gymnastics, figure skating, and other certain kinds of sports, they actually lose scores for deviation from perfection. That includes all deviations from perfect angles, degrees and splits, balance, etc., from how it has to be in a perfect world. Of course, you can be single-minded and say that technique works differently for each person. Mostly, no. Unfortunately for you, laws of physics won't work differently because of my or your opinion. In such serious sports, all techniques are scientifically very well thought out, and then they're trying to get humans as close as possible to those techniques according to their physiology, habits, and etc. For instance, how I do in my Guitar Academy, which is the biggest work with a person or student, but not vice versa. It's not technique that is changing for each person. It's different path for each person to get to the most efficient technique.
I like that. Different path for each person to get to the most efficient technique. I like that. Good.
Alright, some people are gonna say, alright Anton, I'm gonna destroy you right now. There are guitarists who don't give a shit on your advices. Look! Playing the piece in 320 BPM with hand tense as hell. You got it? So now, Anton, shut your fucking mouth! And even students ask me that and send me this video asking why the hell are they doing all that weird shit for months with wristbands, very accurate technique, what for? People do this shit differently. And by the way, before telling me what to do and spend months on your damn exercises, can you play that by yourself with your technique, you mother...
Goodness.
Alright, I see two ways to work out this issue. Well, the first one is a long way. Well, firstly, you get a few university level educations in physiology and biomechanics, learn the physiology of muscle contraction, single and repeating contractions, how Archibald Hale's formula on speed of muscle contraction with external load works together with all of this. I mean, friction with muscles, weight of your hand, and also lever effect from how your muscles are fixed in your body. Muscles in your hands sometimes take up to 50 or even 100 pounds load while lifting much lighter weights because of this lever effect. Even how much you lower the pick into the strings, and with that you increase the resistance of the string, which is sort of external load, and it decreases the speed of muscle fiber contraction. Plus, how different S and F motor units collaborate together, and just try to check it out personally. Spend like 10-15 years on trying to disprove the science, or if you have friends like my father did when he was a professional sport coach, and they spent their lives on learning all of that, and they would simply tell you why even your favorite virtuosos can't controllably play faster than 250, 280, and being at the edge and shaking. It's not a controllable movement. It's almost a tremor, like a tetanus. Well, if you spend all your life only to play fast tremolo and being very lucky with physiology like a mutant, maybe you would even contract your jaw muscles and play tremolo faster than 300, 320 for some time, but like seconds or even less. But as I already said, it's sort of professional long way. But we don't talk quality with this thing. Even in 100-meter spring race in the last 60 years, the record became only on few tenth parts of a second faster. By the way, we don't know how powerful the wind was, and plus drug labs who create better and better dopings, they don't live in the 60s, my son.
Nate, were you surprised that John Jones tested positive? Everybody's on steroids.
And the second way is a little shorter. In reality, if you play guitar for a few years professionally and click on this video, if you know science, you...
Oh, goodness. Let's get to the playing, please. Please. Oh, he doesn't play in this one? Really? Oh, George, that's okay. Matt, how often do I practice, specifically for speed? I don't really practice anymore. I'll just, like, I don't do, like, metronome training. It's a time and energy thing at this point. Like, most of my time and energy is on just lessons, the business, doing things like this, although I would like to do more of these things. It's enjoyable. But yeah, like, if any kind of practice I do, like, if I need to do practice right now, it's usually for, like, guitar solo stuff in a project I'm doing with Simple Guitar Man in here. My dad, he, I got a bunch of stuff, and sometimes I'll write something that just kicks my ass, so I got to practice the living hell out of it. So I might review it a bit before we actually play it. I'll metronome things up just to make sure I can actually play the dang thing again. But like I was doing earlier, you may have missed it, like somebody came in and said, shred something, so I did just a quick little warm-up here, where I'm just, like, picking and all that. So, I mean, I'll do this a little bit here and there most days. Fun to do. But not a lot of time spent on it, really, at all anymore. Well, I do have the video sped up. That's why he's talking a lot faster right now. I'm trying to get through things. Is it still the intro? It is currently 18 minutes in. We've gone through 18 minutes. Need to be plays in the videos later on. Okay, good. Well, we have at least 50 more sports analogies to go. I guess so. You will never be able to play like Operon unless you are 6 years old and prepared to devote 20 years of guitar lessons to Operon. Well, you might be right. What patterns do you need to learn to do that stuff? Oh, like the things I was just now doing? Honestly, it's a lot of just scale type things. Like I used to just practice. Just up and down those things a bunch. When I was, first getting into playing. Just things like that, just basic scale runs, like playing the same note twice in a row, or the same thing twice in a row. And then just a lot of noodling around is what I've done. And just finding patterns that feel well with my hands. Yeah, so like your 3-note per string major scale stuff, because I was given the ones in the key of G. But with students, because I want to teach them where the natural notes are, I always give them the key of C stuff first. So you're asking about scales. I'm going to give you a link to free course on memorizing scales, so you can actually take those and metronome the crap out of the scales if you'd like. There we go. Those are the you'll find the 3 notes per scale stuff that very, very shred friendly. I do legato a lot. Yes, it's fun. Sometimes legato just sounds nicer than strict alternate picking. I like the smooth butteriness of it all. This video focuses on a few well-known guitarists, and he dissects their playing and tells you mostly their weaknesses and why they don't have proper form. Okay. Well, this was requested, so let's keep going with it. You're welcome. You're welcome. And I do have like a legato training program that's in the works. So there's a ton of info with it already. Actually posted a link to those. Let me just go straight to it. Check it out free for a week. Download all the guitar profiles you want so you can just keep playing it even after the week is expired. I am in the process of adding video demonstration for all these things. And with these programs that I do have in the works, they're like training programs, very workout-based things. I plan on just updating them throughout the years and just try and make them better and better, add more things to it, refine the material as I give these things to students and try and make it the best I can for as many people as possible. I think you inspired me to play faster to show me that's possible. You're very welcome. Thank you. Glad you're able to progress in the past couple months. Awesome. Good. Ham it up. All right, let's get back here. Let's listen to more sped up Anton.
You will laugh only after reading the name of the video with this 320 and classical piece. Come on, buddy, surprise me. I'm very intrigued. Or if you're just experienced guitar player, your eyes are gonna feel a little pain from watching this thing, even from first seconds, since it's just a fake video for women who cook and watch TV with only one eye. Those who cut the potatoes looking at it with one eye and watch the Guinness TV show with a second eye like that. Because a big part of what you hear, he doesn't even play at all, especially with his left hand. Right hand is just shaking 23, 24 times per 32 notes that you hear.
If anyone knows my history, this is definitely... I'm going to slow it down to regular speed here and listen to him talk. I'm curious what he has to say on this.
Which is something like per 32 notes, it's shaking 23, 24 times per 32 notes that you hear, which is something like...
gosh, so I know 300 beats per minute, 16th notes. I had a chart for this. What the hell is that? It's 20 notes per second is at 300 beats per minute for 16th notes. 315 is 21. So it's just barely over 21 notes per second if you're playing 16th notes at 320.
30% slower from what it says and from what you see on the video. So it's around 230, 250, something around it. So the difference between the video and audio is huge. So and too often to be coincidence, you can audio third says they play like that, looking at TV with just a video with this 320 and classical piece. Like, you know, come on, buddy, surprise me. I'm very intrigued. Or if you're just experienced guitar player, your eyes are gonna feel a little pain from watching this thing, even from first seconds, since it's just a fake video for women who cook and watch TV with only one eye. You know, those who...
Curious what he feels is fake about it. The audio on that video, the Guinness thing at the 320, Thiago de la Vega, the sound is definitely doctored because there's cell phone footage in the crowd where it sounds vastly different. Obviously, the cell phone footage sounds vastly different, but it seems like the performance is not as honest in the final video, we'll say. Now, you know, cut the potatoes looking at it with one eye and watch the Guinness TV show with the second eye like that. Because big part of what you hear, he doesn't even play at all, especially with his left hand. Right hand is just shaking 23, 24 times per 32 notes that you hear, which is something like 30% slower from what is. Okay, so he's saying that he's not picking everything the whole time. Boy, am I guilty of this. Shit.
Says, and from what you see on the video. So it's around 230, 250, something around it. So the difference between the video and audio is huge. So, and too often to be coincidence, you can hear notes that his fingers didn't even touch, even in 260. What 320 are you talking about, guys? So for the beginners, let's watch it. And we immediately see that right here you can hear C note, and there are only two C's in this area at the fretboard. And they're here. And he didn't even touch anything close to that C in tempo 260. Or you can hear clearly the A, G, F sharp.
I can't hear anything clearly, to be fair. That audio is horrendous. I can't hear squat.
And F, but his fingers are playing A, G sharp, G, and F sharp. He doesn't play here. He doesn't even try to play, I think. You can see it with the naked eye. Definitely he can play faster and so on, but this exact video is fake. I'm sorry. And you can see lots of videos like that on the net.
Am I gonna be shown here? Oh fuck, I'm gonna be brought up. Well, the 600 BPM thing is a bunch of bullshit anyway, so good. I hope they didn't. It's fucking embarrassing. Ooh, God. But yeah, I remember seeing this guy before. His picking hand is moving nowhere near the speed of 350, going 1, 2, 3, 4 every single click. That's not even freaking close. Not even close. Oh, God. All right, so for anyone who doesn't know, like, why I say that got history here, and like I wanted to really hear what he has to say, because who's the last person who had the Guinness record for being the fastest guitar player? I did. For 600, 620, which is a bunch of goddamn crap. No human on Earth can play 16th notes at 600 beats per minute. Why did Guinness give it to me? I'm really not sure. I played along with a MIDI file to try and match my notes up to what it was. I thought I was aiming for like 400. Like, I can pick 16th notes at 300 beats per minute and a little bit faster. Troy Grady has shown that. Now, can I play Flight of the Bumblebee 100% of the way at 300 plus? No. Can anybody? No. It's too goddamn fast and you're going to miss notes, period. The whole Guinness thing is a fucking joke. So I never did what Guinness said I did. But, you know, I'm happy having Troy say, out of all the people that did this stuff, I probably am the fastest picker there was with those group of people. He didn't say I'm the fastest picker ever, but out of those people, I probably still was playing the fastest. So, good. And I think I'm responsible for a lot of the nonsense that came out, like this shit. So shame on me. I opened up a door for garbage. Now, I just sent in the stuff to Guinness, and, like, if I did it, great. Like, I was like, you know, I'll just keep going with it. I mean, it sounds like I'm playing it right. Feels like it's okay. I'm starting and stopping in the places I'm thinking about as I'm matched here and I'm matched here. But one thing about working with Troy that I'm very grateful for is he has helped me see and realize what is actually truly possible. You're very lucky if you can hit 20 notes per second or even faster. Like, it seems like the human speed limit is like around 20-something. It's really goddamn hard to go up to that and stay accurate, or even go past it a little bit. Yeah, like after, I don't remember what speed it was. It was 300 something, maybe like 350 in the first video I did. The first thing I was doing, I was no longer picking 4 notes a click. I did it at 300. At least, again, it wasn't going to be accurate, but I was like counting my pick strokes. That's the thing I did. I slowed it down because after I did something with Troy, where he hooked me up all this equipment in a lab in North Carolina to measure like muscle output and whatnot, like see what I'm doing for different things. And it is cool. He said at that time, I have the fastest human speeds, or just movement of any kind, recorded in a lab setting, so I got that. But it was like, God, I can't remember how many notes per second it was. He had it filmed out, but I was basically just doing just a little warm-up, just doing this to a timer. And when he told me how many notes I was doing per second, it's like, that's a far cry from 40. And that made me go back and examine my stuff. Like, well, it doesn't feel like I'm playing much slower than I was for this Guinness thing. Like, let me go see what I actually did. And so I started counting the notes I was playing per click. And after the 3-something, I was like, yeah, I'm not doing it anymore. So I just said, I denounced the whole damn thing. I was like, this fucking sucks. And I'm sorry. People were, trying to say other people who tried to play faster than me are full of crap and defending me. It's like, I felt like I let people down and whatnot. So there you go. Guinness is a goddamn joke. You can't, good luck playing past 300 beats per minute accurately. Goddamn. All right. Let me read the comments and we'll continue on here. Let's see if I show up in Anton's thing. Slowed it down. It sounds even more like a Bumblebee. Yeah, because of how distorted it is. So remember the video, John? From the record thing, or me calling it out to be a bunch of crap. And the picking was so damn close. Yeah, past 300, but yeah, it just gets too dang fast. That's another thing. There's another thing why I preach so much nowadays. Don't move on to the next speed unless you are certain you nailed it. I was not certain I was nailing those speeds. I was just like, I don't know, maybe, seemed good enough. I'll let Guinness decide. I won't do that anymore. Only move up faster if you are certain that you played it correct, if you want to be as accurate as you possibly can. Well, I appreciate that. It's hard to train the ear to even hear those speeds because it's such a rare sequence. And yeah, it is. It's extremely hard. Another reason why I tell people to do the metronome training is it's not just about getting faster. It's about training the ear in order to hear those things. Because if you can't hear it, I mean, good luck trying to play it. You need to be able to hear it to some degree. All right. Let's keep going. We're only 20 minutes into this video. Yeah, I mean, look at that. Look at this. His thumb is moving only like... maybe about that fast, and he's doing that style of picking. What is that tempo? Let's find out. So it's around 180, which is a good speed. God, I don't remember it very well. Yeah, it's like... that's about how fast he was doing it right there. Euro Apathy, hello. But yeah, this guy with the acoustic, he's really only just picking about at 180 beats per minute, which is 12 notes per second, which is good shred level speed. That's like your average shred guitar player speed. So it is fast. It's faster than most people can do with, you know, any degree of accuracy anyway, but, you know. Let's keep going here. Very good.
That's why, dear subscribers, be careful and learn to recognize fake videos just for Guinness show and real guitar players who can play fast and control it.
God, especially nowadays with how many fake things there are. It's really bad now. This video came out when? 4 years ago? Yeah, fake stuff is huge. I guess he's not going to show me. Goddamn. Good.
And if any guitar teacher or blogger will manipulate you and show you this as an example of something and some technique, for any professional guitarist, it would be obvious that it's just a ridiculous thing. What control are we talking about in 300 or even faster? If guys like that, unfortunately, lose control, even in simple sequences here in 150 or 170, somewhere around it. Alright.
Oh, fuck, I was shown. Look at that.
With physiology, jaw sometime, but professional. Even in 100-meter spring race in the last 60 years, the record became only on few tenth parts of the second. That's why, dear subscribers, be careful and learn to recognize fake videos just for Guinness show and real guitar players who can play fast and control it. And if any guitar teacher or blogger will manipulate you and show you this as an example of something and some technique, for any professional guitarist, it would be obvious that it's just a ridiculous thing. What control are we talking about in 300 or even faster? If guys like that, unfortunately, lose control, even in simple sequences here in 150 or 170, somewhere around it. Alright, getting back to such advice.
I'm sure he'll watch this and tell me, well, I'm sorry, but what was so bad about what I just played? What was out of sync there? What was out of sync? And I guess we're not going to agree. Nothing wrong with touching adjacent strings as long as you don't hear it. What was wrong with that performance?
Around it. Alright, getting back to such
apparently I suck. Yeah, I don't know if I have any sick pics anymore.
Advices on the internet. I want to warn you from this sort of things. If you hear it from any coach that you can do it that way, it is very dangerous. Because if you're not experienced and you see advices like, dude, you can play it like that too. See that guy tense his arm and even jaw and achieve the speed. You can overplay and overtense your hand with wrong order of practicing routine. And then I get messages like these, where people told me that they can't control their fingers or hand at all after experimenting with such shit. So don't listen to any shit like this. Be careful and always warm up properly and don't tense the shit out of you. Many people quit playing guitar because of this shit. It's incredibly hard to fix this thing. So
Apparently I am one of the guys Anton warned you about. Shit.
always stay smart. That's why if you ask any professional guitar player, are such videos ridiculous? Any professional would tell you, yeah. And if someone continues proving this stupid theory, oh my god, better show the video where he allegedly played in 750. Dudes, there are guys who did it in 1600.
Yep. My fault for opening that door.
It's 21st century, 320.
Loser.
And now we're getting to a real thing. And as examples, I want to take those guitar players who are, in my opinion, best guitar players in the world. Why them? Well, at least they're trying to prove something what they say with their hands and fingers, not like majority of bloggers with only words. And we'll try to find out whether even best guitar players in the world break the laws of physiology with their specific techniques or not, and also whether their techniques actually work how they want or not. So, not middle-level guitarists, but high-class virtuosos. These guys achieved maximum of what their techniques could offer them. Of course, we should understand that different ways of practice affect your result as well. But these people achieved everything what these techniques could offer them. That's why I don't take beginners and middle-level guitarists who just put their hand like Gilbert and said, now I'm as good as him. No, you're not. To analyze it, we're gonna make a list in a tabular form. So here we got list of abilities that we want to have in our technique from the left, and we're gonna have the names of guitarists up here. When we fill this form, many things will be clarified for you. I've written here the list of all abilities of your right hand that everyone wants to have when they learn to play guitar. So we're talking about picking technique, not slap, not finger technique, we're talking about picking technique. So the first one is muting, being able to mute whenever you want with your right hand. Got it? Sure you got it. Then stamina. We don't want to get tired quickly, right? Right. Then dynamics. Dynamics is, you know, it's just, in music, it's incredibly important. Then speed. Well, in certain music styles, you can't do a thing without speed. Sometimes it's an essential thing. Then clean string switching. If we're talking about having good sound quality, playing clean, not having that mess when playing anything faster than 160. Plus, if you don't want to get stuck only on two closest strings and you want to skip strings sometimes, nobody wants this sort of limitations, so we need it. Well, the next thing is not being dependent on amount of notes on the string, which means if you can play clean only with even number of notes on the string, man, that shit. And synchronization. Again, if we don't want to hear messy shit when we play, we need to develop a really good synchronization. And you need to remember that every little bad thing for these guitar players will cause 10 times bigger problems for you, because majority of you don't have that motility and experience like them in avoiding all those tons of problems that they know they have when they can't play something, and they learned pretty well to avoid everything dangerous. Even if it would sound cool, they just don't do it because they know they can't. So let's start from serious guys. For instance, Guthrie Govan. Let's go. So, can he mute strings whenever he wants? Yes, his technique allows him to do it. So we draw a plus. Can he play fast? Well, you heard those solos, right? Yes, he can. And that's why we draw a plus here too. Does he control dynamics? Yes, he's trying, and he does that pretty often. In fast tempos, he won't be able to do it everywhere, and always I'll put a plus and minus here, and we'll get back to the explanation just a little bit later, okay? So here we go, dynamics, here's a plus and minus. Are his hands synchronized? Not really. And now lovers of play how you feel comfortable theory are gonna understand why. Okay, to understand what is happening here, let's take a video where Guthrie talks about alternate picking. In this video, there are 5 moments where he tries to play fast alternate picking licks. Unfortunately, all those 5 attempts were unsuccessful. Let's have a look. When Guthrie said in this video that you don't have to move your grip because your hand doesn't really need any help.
Well, I guess my ears suck. That all sounded good to me. What about you guys? Did Guthrie's stuff sound good to you? Guys, because Anton's got a superhuman ear. I hope he explains how it's not synced up. I guess this is why I'm on his shit list.
To play a note. The funniest thing is he said everything correctly. He said everything right. But when he doesn't play fast, but plays in tempos in which guitarists usually practice, he by himself, well... Well, you see it by yourself. So, what's happening?
That sounded clean as fuck to me. It would, well, I guess he did just slow down one fast part now to... I don't get it.
When you practice some motion, majority of people are sure that it's our brain learning to send correct signals, correct equal signals to their muscle, or that it's muscle that is learning to contract fast and equally. But both are a bit wrong. The thing is that there's too much freedom for movements inside our body, and no motor impulses can make muscles contract exactly how we want them to each time we make a movement, no matter how equal those impulses are. It will just not make equal movement because of that freedom inside our body. Elasticity of all mechanisms in our body can allow hand or leg get those signals without trajectory problems. Since you're not made of metal that can deliver any motions accurately, like a machine, for instance, or a car, there are a lot of elasticity in your body. Dozens of little factors affect your body, including in which direction the earth gravitates your hand, the blood flow, different tonus in muscles around, whole chain of joints on a way, current position of your hands, body, so many things, just tons of them. And if you would send absolutely equal impulses to your muscles, each time is going to contract a little bit uncontrollably differently. Each time. And our brain isn't learning to send the exact same signals to muscles, but it's turning on the mechanism that is called in science sensory correction. Not sure how it's called in English science words. And it starts editing the movement.
That comment warrants discussion. You recently learned that you should not hover over or in between strings. Your pick should always be making contact with a string, getting ready to play the next one. Who told you that and why? I completely disagree with that. Let the pick hover. Why? Why would you do that? My pick is not sitting on strings waiting to go. In fact, I've had a student he'd always have his pick on the string, and it causes a lot of problems for him to do that. Who told you that? George, Anton has very high demands. He will show the difference by his example, but for me, Guthrie definitely sounds awesome. Well, apparently playing is at the end of the video. Yeah, I guess, yep, that's Anton right there. So he does play. Very, very end. Which we will not be getting to today. Stream is almost done for the day. So, yeah, we'll continue it next week. Continuing.
Movement at the moment when it's happening. Editing it each time a little bit differently, according to lots and lots of different factors, to bring it to the considered goal. Sometimes each upstroke and downstroke, each one. That's how amazing your brain is. It's analyzing tons of micro factors from sensors from your body, all the things that are happening right now, and permanently editing the system which signals and when it should send to keep the needed trajectory. Then it's collecting the database of those different circumstances in which your brain edited those movements, their results, how exactly your brain edited them to create a program called Scale. That's why in that sensorium you don't create just one sample of how certain movements should be done, but it's creating some sort of a program of maneuverability with huge database of different circumstances. Your brain is getting signals in one language, analyzes them, and then translates them all to a language of correctional impulses that it has to send to one or another muscle according to the goal that you're setting for yourself, the one you're directing yourself to. This is the exact reason why I'm always telling my students to think what they're doing.
What's going on right now?
Watch with your eyes. Try to feel it in your mind first, what you have to get from your hand before you actually get it. Try to feel those sensations. So if you're not thinking about what you do when you practice, and you're not analyzing it, just forget it. It's not practice. It's a piece of crap. This translation from the language of sensor signals to those motor corrections is called in science recoding of nerve impulses. Not sure how they call it there in English. So, for instance, you play a scale from hundreds of notes, and there was no equal signal from your CNS, central nervous system, to
Back here, James was taking lessons because trying to get into sweeping. Okay, well, sweeping's a bit different. Played for 20 years, can do everything but crazy shred stuff. I was taught that if you want to improve my speed, I need to do immediately snap to the next string. You don't. Skills that kills. Very good. Yeah, like when I'm playing, no, the metronome's in the way. Of course, I'm gonna be talking here, and Anton's gonna be like, "That's why you suck." Yeah, what the hell? I played something in there when he. Dude, I definitely struggle with doing descending force stuff for sure. I'm not gonna pretend I don't. I need a lot of work with these. But anyway, when I'm doing stuff like this, things I do well, at least I think I do well. Like, the idea that you always have to have your pick on another string, like, okay, so what if you're going to be playing just on one string? Where are you supposed to place your pick, you know? So even if, like, I'm going to be changing strings here, like, the idea that you always have to have your pick on the string, I don't see how that's going to work while doing something like this. Because you got to keep moving your pick all over the place. Like, having it float, you know, is totally fine, right? And necessary. You don't need to have I don't think you should have your pick sitting on a string at all times, waiting to snap for another one, because like what a student was doing is the exact same thing, and all his stuff sounded like that. So, yeah, sweep picking, like, makes a bit more sense if you need to practice the rest stroke thing. But that's different. Like, sweeping is one thing. Scale runs is a different thing. So, yeah, I wouldn't try and do that. I feel like it's going to slow you down more than anything. Kind of want to just jump to the... Okay, we're at the... We'll continue this a bit later. I want to get to where he's actually playing himself so we can hear what it sounds like when it's not desynced and all that stuff. Oh, he's playing right there. Hold on. This is the most replayed part.
Avoiding all these weak moments. Jason is not that afraid to make a mistake. So Jason, respect for that, man, for not being a pussy. Synchronization. Well, his love to move a grip in middle and slow tempos, which means different technique in different tempos. Even though he's probably trying to practice very accurately, but angle of your wrist and lots of not cool gifts to your brain, that wouldn't let to get the best synchronization. Again, luckiness is taking place a lot, and if we listen to his playing, forget about lots of delays and effects. Just for instance, again, we're not talking things, we're doing things with our hands. Let's go. Or with his technique.
Does sound good.
You can easily hear the difference when the technique was designed to have better conditions for your brain.
Can't argue
That's
with that.
why synchronization will be a minus for his way of playing. Usually people don't think of technique that way. They're taking it as a whole thing, you know, and sometimes even think that metal style haircut changes something. But in reality, things can be analyzed mathematically. So if we talk about synchronization, even my student Will had better synchronization before he joined my academy, and we started changing his technique totally to a different one. It's a fact that you can hear. Just listen to it. Yes, it's not perfect, but it's better than Jason's one in this video. So, anyway, I'm not talking about practice itself. I won't tell all the secrets and how it's done. We're just making a superficial review, but it's unfortunately minus here. By the way, for economy picking, he is tensing the entire forearm and plays with the entire arm like this. Watch it his way. Alright, we continue with Yngwie Malmsteen. Even though you sometimes hear him play pretty dirty in the economy picking, you have to keep in mind that Yngwie passed through very awful car accident, and he recovered and achieved this amazing level again after that. So this will always affect your hands and control, so this allows downstroke as well. Or other licks.
Yes, playing with no effects would be nicer.
There's some certain limitations, he always tries to avoid them, but they exist. So we can put a plus and minus because of not being able to play certain things clean. This part, the pig mark like this, or staked quality destroying those, and
elbow now.
So here's the plus. Now, Michelangelo Badio.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Ability to mute strings whenever he wants. In the middle tempos, I've seen him playing with Glushovka, but playing with a grip. But as soon as he starts playing fast, support on 3 fingers here on guitar body, wrist joint in the air here, 2 joint movement, it's the forearm from the elbow with the, plus a little bit of a grip motion. But he can't mute at this moment at all, so no muting in faster tempos. Sorry, it's a huge limitation. No, what we're gonna do tempo problems as well. Mode dynamics and fastly slow facts if we or with my technique. It's not middle tempo, of course, but it's not super fast. So I've never seen him play a lot faster than 180, 195, around this tempo. So the more you use the grip while playing, the harder it will be to play fast. Well, the resistance of first finger that wasn't supposed to be bent like this, and weakness of these muscles compared to those that move our hand or the elbow, doesn't matter. So we get what we get. Unfortunately, they will get tighter pretty fast, and everything comes to be in the pose in the wrist touches.
Troy Grady footage. Do the old swiping, blasting through the strings. I do it all the time.
And usually some amount of cover-ups like effects and etc. So we got minors here, unfortunately. Not depending on the amount of notes on the string. Inside switch with the grip is easier, so we talked about it before. Outside is harder, everything's not stable, licks with immediate marking, forced variation, and still about. Plus, long practice routine and exercises were probably used. I don't know, but for instance, I would still have a little better sync even with his technique and this two-joint motion. Because knowing some science tricks behind it, even this door will be open for you. And first, this always gives good results. Now, Marty Friedman.
Weird ass
This guy is really interesting because only because you will never ever see that sort of technique anywhere else. But unfortunately, this leads us to limitations.
Right
anyway, okay.
I guess this is not what I was expecting. I assumed he was going to be actually demonstrating a bunch of stuff and like teaching like what the universal technique is, and besides just saying this person sucks because of this, here's me playing it better. Good. He can clearly play fantastic, right, from what we hear and see in the video. And maybe I'm skipping ahead, like, if anyone's actually watched the full thing, does he actually say exactly what you're supposed to do? Because it just seems, I don't know, it seems more like a video of him just kind of, like, here's this famous guitar player, here's this famous shredder, here's his good points, here's the bad points. Here's me playing it better, and so on. As right now, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to continue watching this next week. I'm bored. I'm bored.
Let's start. Ability to mute strings whenever you want. No. There. Oh, not hard limitation. No, they some. Oh, but shot. You can't. So you're getting ability didn't tension. Notice that angle is good. Well, we're not fixed stamina a bit, but you can notice that in fast licks they're moving, so they're not fixed in one position all the time. And angle is good. Well, with certain practice, his position and technique allows him to have very good stamina. Picking out better, in this in real picking or you, I will pen. Yes, he's fast as hell. Take it far. He pitches very well. Everything or not, and don't technique playing. I will discuss it again. Put a pitch thing perfectly, and it's probably movement synchronization. That's why technically Rick is the smartest guitarist from all this list.
Well, his playing is not why I feel bored. He can like if he was more playing and explanation, you know, then cool. That's something that would be more, you know, valuable instead of him just saying like, this is why this guy's technique is bad. This is why this guy's technique is bad, and all that. Oh, Andrea. You'd only get to know the secrets to perfect technique if you buy his programs. He usually shows how fast and clean you play, but never tells you what the method actually is. Okay. Secrets are basically centered around little tension as possible and the right physical movements. Nothing revolutionary, but I imagine his one-on-one lessons is where the value is, you know. Exactly. Yeah, we're not learning much. We're seeing how good he is. And how he can hear desync that I can't. Like, because I'm still of the mind, like, you know, does it really sound that bad to you? I mean, to him it does. Okay, fair enough. Right? But like a lot of those things, licks and the stuff, you know, people are playing, things that he's demonstrating that he feels are bad, or maybe he just feels, maybe he's not saying they're bad, but he's saying things are out of sync, not done well enough to his standards, perhaps. Like, does it really sound that bad, though? I don't think so. It sounds good to me. Maybe that's my problem. So, I don't know. But, you know, there's some more playing coming up here, so let's power through it and keep moving.
And the power, right? And now let's try to play something close to what Rick plays with his technique.
Sounds good to me.
Or with alternate picking.
Yeah, sounds great.
Maybe we'll try some cyclical licks. Or sequences.
Flexible
Next.
bones?
Paul Gilbert. Whenever you want. He probably had pretty smart guys who could professionally consult him, even though he would never admit it. Just like that bullshit that you just need to play his 4-note exercise the way you feel comfortable and one day become as good as him. Yeah, mother. So it's a plus here. Control dynamics. Yes. No. On the frets that don't have flageolet, it might somehow work, but on fifths, little minor. Not depending on the amount of notes on the string. No dependent. Synchronization. Yes. Yeah, guys, that's why majority of those who are called virtuosos are not even close to Paul. I've showed the switches with his technique already, so let's continue. So we're coming with our scientifically well thought out Russian technique that I'm teaching in my academy. Let's start it. Ability to mute strings whenever you want. Yes.
So James, you're saying that you like the sound and the demonstration of the bad technique versus Anton's because of the sound? Saying, look how his fingers are arched and rounded and not straight. To him, everybody sounds bad or is inefficient who doesn't fulfill his parameters, what proper technique in his mind is. Don't worry, the Troy Grady clip of you playing sounded just fine. Thank you. I'm not too worried about it. I mean, look, is this guy cleaner than I am? Yeah, I'd be, a fool to argue that he's not, or that I am just as clean or cleaner. You know, I guarantee he's put in more time than I have. But whatever. There's like such a small, like diminished returns, you know, that's such a big thing. The bad technique sounds better, huh? Jesse, running on fumes. Thank you, sir. All right, man. Take care. We'll see you next time. Almost done here. We got like almost 10 minutes left of the video and I'm just jumping through everything, so almost done.
Stamina. Yes.
Russian? No.
Control of dynamics.
No, this is where he's rating himself.
Stamina.
Shanak, hello.
Yes.
We're actually just wrapping it up here.
Control of dynamics. Yes, at any speed. Speed. Yes. Clean string switching. Yes. Even number of notes. Odd number. Skipping one string. Skipping two strings. 3 strings. 4 strings. 5 strings.
I don't like the cockiness. Yes, you're extremely good, but I hate the cockiness. I'm sorry. I hate that kind of stuff.
Even 6 strings.
I don't give a shit.
Chubby guys have fast fingers.
clean, and even with
I
dynamics.
better bulk up.
Yes. Not depending on amount of notes on the string. No dependence. Synchronization of hands. Yes. Even the ability to play economy picking if you want it so much. So, therefore, we can make a scientifically well thought out conclusion. Reed Graham's technique is the best British technique that ever existed, and in some things that is even cleaner than Paul Gilbert's one, and that means a lot, believe me. We should admit that he is smarter and better than other guys in the list. Paul Gilbert is definitely the best American technique that ever existed. Control, dynamics, speed, everything else is good. And to motherland, comrades. All right. I'm just kidding. So what we see here, these guys proved what is what with their hands, not mouth like many bloggers. Sometimes people think that to understand how it all works, you need to try thousands of physiologically stupid techniques to find when people know how to work. Well, you has to explain him, show him what is what, so that the student would say, yes, this is what I want, yes, this is what I want, and maybe I don't want to play that, will never in the future. And I told you, read that list of all those things that he should want, and understand which technique from the list, or all others, thousands of them, which one would fit the student's goal and offering that, and which one would be so stupid that the student will probably spend years and years and years on and on trying to play things that he will never be able to play with the technique of certain guitarists, maybe that this coach likes a lot. And relearning after you got some stupid habits, damn, this is, my god, it's incredibly hard, and depending on habits that you had, sometimes it's even harder to relearn than learn as a beginner, depending on habits, of course. But if this coach doesn't know that, I don't know how he will control student, teach him, because he doesn't understand how it works by himself, how it works and what will be the final destination with each technique. He'll never tell you that you might lose years on certain techniques that will never bring you to your goal. They won't even show you that with their hands. This is a huge amount of information, personal experience, etc. And when you ask a coach, like, Mr. Coach, like, tell me please what this technique does, what this technique does, what this technique does, because of lacking of knowledge and experience, the coach just says, dude, it's just comfortable for him, you know, I feel comfortable playing like this, there's no universal ways. Like, you just play these 4 notes and you'll be fine, buddy. Of course they can't say, I don't know, I can't play it, so shut up. Well, they won't get paid for that, right? And now I hope you understand better what is guitar technique, and that it's just simple manipulation of those who unfortunately don't know a lot about technique and don't have experience in that. And it actually has a huge influence on what you will be able to play or not be able to play even after years of practice. And for those who never practice, like for example Guthrie Govan did, every little thing will affect them even more. Guthrie, after like decades of incredible practice, starts playing a simple lick on one string and there are problems already. So imagine what will happen to you without those decades of practice. Yes, many people don't understand how hard you have to work, but even best guitarists can't avoid the laws of physics and physiology. They all have limitations that all of them would want to get rid of. All those maneuvers between what you can and can't. Nobody ever wanted that. Also, you now understand that it's a manipulation too, that every guitar player can only teach you the way he plays guitar, because he allegedly can't do anything else and doesn't know shit about it. I showed you that I can play things not only with my technique, but also with any of their techniques, because I understand the physics, the process. Play with their technique on guitar, what they play on guitar, and also showed you that it's possible to take one universal technique and play everything they all played on guitar and still have some more abilities in universal pluses and reserve, like in the case with Guthrie and others. So if you actually understand how it works and can play it all, not only I can teach you my way and technique. If someone wants Guthrie's technique, I'll teach you that. Well, I don't know, why would you tell me that I want only his technique and nothing else, just only his? But if you say so, all right. Maybe you want Martin Miller's technique. No problem. Maybe Michelangelo Baggio. Sure. No problem. I will show you that, explain that, demonstrate that by myself, lead you and heal you from your bad habits. No problem. Maybe someone wants only kind of picking. No problem. But never met anyone like that. Whenever you ask someone, do you want this limitation? No. Maybe you want this limitation, man? No. Nobody wants limitations. So after we did this research and after we talked about all of this, I will probably take some responsibility to say that there is universal technique. And it's more than real and proved with these hands, not with words. And you know what? To make it like scientists like to doubt even 100% proved facts, I will pretend that everything I said today, everything I played today, everything I showed, demonstrated, is just bullshit. I will leave a 1,000th part of percent that I'm totally wrong. I'm gonna leave it to this. All my knowledge and things that I said are proved with my own hands. Because if something doesn't work in real life, in real world, all the knowledge, all the thoughts, and all the science, it's all bullshit if it doesn't work in real world. So I proved all of this works in real life with real hands. I'm more than sure that with this one universal technique, I will play anything what any guitar coach plays. And I will leave this 1,000th part of a percent on opportunity for coaches like that, if their students ask them to prove what they say with their own hands, not just words, that those coaches take their guitar in their hands, take any or all of these different techniques. No. Let's give them a little chance. Let's just let them take a technique that is comfortable for them, and let them play to you with the full quality, at least what I played on the guitar.
Well, that is not at all what I thought it was going to be. Might want to watch Justin God, I cannot pronounce the guy's name. Justin Hambach. He has a response thing to it. It's much more, I think it's like 30 minutes long. I don't know. Not what I was expecting. I'm just looking at some of the comments here right now. Well, that's it. I don't know what to say. I mean, obviously, yeah, the guy is extremely skilled, for sure. Like, no question about it. Insanely clean. Yeah. And here's probably where he would be, calling me shite. Like, look, if anyone's watching this and they're upset that they don't sound as good as him, like, almost nobody's ever going to sound that good, that fast. Like, be able to play that fast, that well. So, keep that in mind. He's clearly genetically gifted in order to do this sort of thing, because if he wasn't, he couldn't do it. I'll tell you that. I don't know how hard he worked in order to do it. I don't know what age he started. I think somebody said like 8 years old. I don't know if that was like being sarcastic or if that's truly what happened. The younger you start, you certainly have a much better chance of developing these kinds of skills a lot better than somebody who's starting, 20s or 30s and 40s, stuff like that. People have said they wanted Troy Grady to get Anton to be analyzed. I think that would be great. Oh. Well, your apathy started at 30. So yeah, it's like the later you start, time is working against you, for sure. Just remember, just as long as you guys are having fun, that's what matters most. Is technique important? Of course it is. If you accidentally bump a string here and there, and if it doesn't sound bad, who cares? Of course, that's part of the problem, right? mistakes are going to be made. And I don't know. I was going to say, like, maybe I'd like to know how many takes he did for all those things. I highly doubt he did it all in one take, because that's part of the process too. When you put videos together, usually you're doing several takes, especially when it's really complicated stuff. And then you post your best takes, right? So there's a lot going behind the scenes, for all these things. So something important to keep in mind. All right, Mr. Viking, glad you're able to stay the whole time. That's going to be it for this week. I think last week's stream was better. But other people have, suggestions, whatnot. We'll definitely check them out. But there we go. All done. Thank you, everybody who came in, participated. Glad we had a good chat, though. That's always good. And, yeah. James, so I wish I could break through from intermediate to advanced to complete the majority of stuff flawlessly, but the majority of stuff isn't complicated. I think one question is to, what does intermediate versus advanced mean? Sometimes people say intermediate. I've had some people say, you can tell me that they're intermediate, and I felt they're more beginner, Things like that. All right, that's it. Goodbye, everybody. See you all on the next stream.